One of our customers' favourite questions recently is asking about how to repot their orchids. Orchids are a fantastic houseplant. They're a really wonderful plant to have in your homes, but some people get a little bit scared of how to actually care for them and repot them. So I just want to go through how you would do that. So obviously we have this decorative pot cover that the orchids sit in. Most orchids will be in a clear grow pot. This is because of the fact that the roots like to get a lot of light, so it just keeps them nice and bright in the pot. And then when you are repotting an orchid, generally speaking, you would want to do it when the plant is dormant, so when it's just finished flowering. Obviously, as this example, this one is still flowering, but it's just to give you an example of how you would, what the process would be were you to do it at home. So once you've got your orchid in the grow pot, you're literally just going to really delicately tease that pot off with that bark. Orchids are grown in a bark more so than a compost, so you'll find it does fall away quite easily. And all you're wanting to do is just clean all of that bark away from inside the roots and loosen all of those roots up all the way round, just teasing all of that bark out from inside the roots. They are really resilient orchids, so they will be absolutely fine. And just loosening up those roots and taking all of that bark out. You will always know orchids are great for sort of telling you when they need watering and equally when they need repotting. Generally an orchid will need repotting if you find that the roots have absolutely filled the grow pot that they're in and there's no more bark in there at all. And also if the plant one of the reasons if the plant could be stopped flowering particularly well, could be combined with that if it needs repotting. And in terms of watering, the aerial roots on orchids are very much, they're quite succulent-like in a way. So when the roots are that nice green colour, they're hydrated. But when any of the roots do start to go like a white, dusty, chalky colour, that's basically the plant signaling that needs some water. So once you've taken all of that bark out from inside the roots, you then just want to make sure that you're cleaning up those roots in terms of if you've got any that are slightly damaged or some that have dried at the tips and sort of died, just to give it a really good health check. If you are using secateurs, it's always really good to make sure that you have sterilised them and give them a really thorough clean before using them, just so that you know you're not passing on any infection. And then, yep, so we're just going to be clipping out a few of the roots that have just got a little bit of damage to them. And you can also just trim off some of the really long ones at the base, just to tidy those roots up that little bit.